So today we're doing Unit 5, Systems of Equations and Inequalities, Lesson 2, which is Solutions to Systems of Equations through Elimination. So everybody has their notes, I believe. I passed them out to you just now. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and talk about what elimination method is. So elimination works by solving systems of equations by adding or subtracting to eliminate a variable. So the first thing you're always going to want to do is line up your equations, and then you're either going to add or subtract the equations to eliminate the variable with common coefficients. Your goal will then be to solve for the remaining variable, and you're then going to plug in your answer into either one of the original equations or the adapted one. Either one will work. And then your goal will be to solve for the last variable. So that's the process of elimination, but to me it's easier just to show you what that is by doing it, and that will make a little more sense. So take that down and let me know when you're ready.
Mr. Russell.
Yes.
Last class, did I get my participation grade?
I didn't do participation last class. I just had too much going on yesterday, so I forgot. Or Monday, so it was the bathroom break. So no, but nobody lost points or anything that day. I don't think anybody did anything bad.
That's like the only reason why my grade is so bad.
We only had like 5.
Then how is my grade so bad? Because that's in all my work.
You're missing a whole quiz.
Is that why?
Probably, yeah.
Only
Quizzes are like 200 points, so yeah.
I didn't know this gets so hard. Can you help me prepare for it?
You can find my outstars. Well, actually, outstars are on Tuesday.
So.
Did you do the review?
No.
I mean, I'll help you at the end of class if you have questions. Sure. Alright. So, am I still recording my video?
Now it's not even completely sure what's on.
Well, the review is up and it's open review, so. Alright.
Wait, it's open now?
Yeah, open up. Okay. So, we're going to do what we call elimination method, okay? So, our goal will be to, basically, you're going to have to try to add these two together so that one of the variables is going to go away. So, what happens if I add y plus y? How many y's do I have now?
2.
2 y's. 2y. So, what if this y was a negative? What would happen when I add them together? They cancel out. So I have to make one of them negative. So to do that, to make one of them negative, I can multiply this second equation, the whole thing by a -1. Okay? Yes?
That's not the same as the
It's not?
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Are most of you guys the same? It's just not yours?
Hey, you're looking at the wrong side.
I think you have the wrong sheet.
I think we all are, but not that way either.
Yes. This is the one we're going to do after, so you can just hold on to it. Later on, not today, but. Okay.
This is homework.
So we're going to multiply
Never mind.
this by -1. This whole thing. So this is going to become -y equals -x plus 2. So all I did was I multiplied this second equation by -1. You guys see how I did that? Now that we've done that, we're then going to rewrite the first equation underneath it, like this. So you write the second equation underneath it. And then our goal is to add these two equations together. So, like Dustin said earlier, what's -y plus y? They cancel out, right? So it becomes, if they cancel out, what number is that? Yeah.
Does it matter which one you choose to turn into like the negative equation?
Good question. Sometimes it will matter which one you multiply, but in this case, you could do either one.
So in what cases will it matter?
It will matter in cases where you have to multiply it not by just a negative, but by a number too, which you'll see in a little bit. But yeah, this one doesn't matter which one. So what is -y plus y? They cancel out, so it's
Cool.
0. If you have no negative y, and then you cancel it out by adding y, you have nothing. 0. I was trying to do 0 with my pen in my hand, it was not working. It was a struggle. Okay. So now what's negative x plus 3x? So if I have, you're in debt 1x, and then you have 3 x's, how many x's do you have left after paying off your debt? What do you guys think? Guys, we're doing basic stuff here, come on. What's negative 1 plus 3?
1 plus 1.
2, thank you. 2x. And then this one, guys, 2 plus 4.
77.
Shut up, 6.
6, thank you.
No, I agree with Katie on this one.
Alright, you guys go with that. You guys do it your way, and I'll come back with it.
Say less.
So I'm gonna write this out, and now my goal is gonna be to solve for x. So to solve for x, I'm gonna subtract 6 on both sides. So what's 0 minus 6?
Okay, that was so funny, by the way.
Negative 6. And then how do I solve for x from here? Divide both sides by
2.
2. So what's negative 6 divided by 2?
3.
So x equals negative 3.
Holy man.
So we found x, but we also need to find what other variable?
Why?
Y. So you use x to find y. So pick one of the original equations, the first or the second.
We'll go with the first one this time.
Alright, let's go with the first one. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite the first equation, but instead we're going to plug in negative 3 for x. So I'm just replacing.
Coronavirus.
Oh, what?
So now I'm going to replace the x with negative 3.
I would shut this school down.
So what is 3 times negative 3?
Negative 6.
Negative, not negative 6,
No,
but
negative 9.
negative 9. Good. What is negative 9 plus 4?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. Very good, Sean.
Wow. Oh,
So my
5.
answer to my whole question is negative 3 comma negative 5.
Wait, shit, we're still on 1.
Yeah, we're still on 1. This is math, getting into advanced math, okay? Takes a little longer. Well, advanced,
Wait,
Ish. It's more advanced, you know, things take a little longer. To do.
I didn't sleep last night.
Yes, we're ending this class for a reason.
Well, this is, we're going slow with it, trust me.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys ready to try number 2?
Hold
on.
Yes, Liz.
I wish I could do that.
Alright, so our goal is to add the 2 equations together and one of the variables cancels out. So, what is x plus x?
2x.
2x. They don't cancel each other out. But if this x, one of the x's was negative, wouldn't they cancel each other out? So I can multiply the second equation by
Negative 1.
negative 1. We're going to do the same thing we did earlier. We're going to multiply the second equation by negative 1. And I'm going to write it up here. So this becomes negative x plus y is equal to negative 3. So I just multiply the second equation by negative 1. You guys see that? Now, once you've done that, you just bring down the first equation right here. So this just is x plus 4y is equal to 13. So that's what you do so far. Now, once you've done that, you're now going to add these 2 equations together, okay? So what's negative x plus x? What happens?
0.
0, good. So they cancel out. And then what is y plus 4y?
5y.
5y. And what is negative 3 plus 13?
10.
10. So now we have 5y equals 10. How do we solve for y here?
You divide it.
Good. Divide by 5 on both sides. So that gives me y equals 2. So now that we have y, we have to find what other variable?
X.
X. So which equation do you want to plug it into, the first or the second?
The second.
Second. Good choice. It's easier, right? So what you do now is you take the y that you've just obtained and you plug it into the second equation. And then your goal from there is to now solve for x. So how can I solve for x?
Add 2.
Add 2. Which gives me x equals
5.
5. Very So remember when you write the ordered pair answer, it's always x comma y, okay? You always gotta do x first and then y. So even if you solve for y first, you still need to put x first in the ordered pair. So just be sure that you don't mix those up. Always x comma y. Alright, so let's try the next one. So before you multiply anything by a negative, you want to first check if anything can be canceled out without doing that. So what is 3x plus 3x? 6x. What's negative 4y plus negative 4y?
0.
0.
Negative 8y.
4.
Oh, so
I mean,
One of them would have to be positive.
Wouldn't it be 8 if you add negative?
Negative 8.
It's 8, negative, negative.
Oh, wait. But I
So,
think I don't know.
if I multiply one of these equations by a negative, wouldn't the variables cancel out, right? So I have to multiply one of these by a negative 1. It doesn't matter which one, but you can multiply the second one. So we're going to multiply the second equation by negative 1. So basically, we do that, we use the distributive property. And when I do that multiplication, it's going to come out to be negative 3x plus 4y is equal to 13. So all I did was I multiplied the second equation by a negative 1. And whenever you multiply a whole equation by negative 1, what it does is it just changes the signs of each term. So if the term is positive, it's now going to be negative. And if the term is negative, it's now going to be positive. Now that I've done that, I'm now going to rewrite this first equation underneath it so I can line them up, line up the like terms. Just like that. And then your goal is to now add these together. So what is negative 3x plus 3x? What happens to
Wait,
those?
where did you get a negative 3?
Right here?
Yeah.
I multiplied this second equation by negative 1.
Oh.
So what is negative 3x plus 3x? What happens to those variables? They do what? They cancel out, don't they?
Yeah.
And then what happens over here? These also.
Cancel out.
So I'm left with 0 equals, what is 13 minus 10?
3.
Does 0 equal 3?
No.
It's a false statement, right? This is what we call a false statement. And this means we have no solution. Anybody know what kind of lines look like we have no solution, occur when we have no solution? What do those lines look like when we have no solution? We did it on Monday. They don't intersect, so they're what kind of lines?
Oh.
Parallel, good job. So these are two parallel lines, okay? Because they never intersect, therefore they have no solution. So the next one is a little bit tricky. Now, the reason it's a little tricky is because what do you notice is wrong with these variables? Are they in the right order? The same order as each other? No. So I'm going to reorder it. So I'm going to rewrite the first one as is. And then for the second, I'm going to reorder it. So I'm going to put the negative 2x first, and then I'm going to put the negative y second. So all I did was I just reordered the terms. Okay? So I took the second set of terms and I just flipped them around. Does anybody have any questions about what I did over here? I just flipped the terms. So now that I flipped the terms, I determine if I can simplify it here. So if I add these variables together, are any of them going to cancel out? What is 2x minus 2x? 0. So see how they're going to cancel out? So I don't have to multiply by an... What?
One's a positive, one's a negative.
Very good, yep. If they're the same number and one's positive, one negative, they're going to cancel each other out, so I don't have to multiply by a negative. It's already done for me. So this becomes 0. And then this is also plus 0, because these cancel out, equals, what's negative 10 plus 10? 0. So 0 equals 0. We didn't solve for any variable, but is this a true or a false statement?
False statement, there's no solution to the
Not no solution. This one was a false statement. 0 doesn't equal 3, but this is a what kind of statement?
Oh, so yeah, it could be.
It's a true statement, right? So when you have a true statement, but you don't get any solution, this means you have infinite solutions. So that means you have all of the solutions. And anybody know what these two lines look like to each other?
Oh, isn't that like
they overlap. So they actually make up the same line. So basically these two equations are the same equation. One of them is just multiplied by another number. So it's kind of like how you could say there's the number 16, also known as 4 times 4. So it's the same thing represented a different way. So that's what that means. You can just toss it. You can toss it. I think I left notes on your desk. Let me know if not. So that's all the notes I have for you today.